PDSA is a learning cycle. It's an iterative, four-stage problem-solving model that can be used for testing a change, or improving a process, or implementing change. When we do a PDSA, we set an objective for actually what we're trying to test, what we're wanting to achieve. We then plan, do, study, and act. When you test small, you're not investing a whole lot of time and resources into a change idea that may or may not work. Test small so that you can learn quickly and learn inexpensively. When we're trying to identify some potential solutions or some change ideas to test, the people in the process, so our teachers, might have some great ideas, so we include them in brainstorming ideas.
In our group, we put down what we thought were the key things for us first. It was sort of like our enrolments, saying, well, before we can even look at that, we need to find out where the interest might be for here.
So once we've identified a potential change idea, we then start to work through the Plan, Do, Study, Act. And with planning, we're looking at, so what are we trying to find out from testing this idea?
I found that our enrolment process with our previous administrator was taking too long. I could just see ways of shortening the enrolment process, but also making it more thorough and more personal to the actual children themselves.
There was a lot of absent children. There was gaps everywhere. I've got this great idea of having names with some form of attendance, dots. And then for some strange reason, flybys came into my head and I connected the two and I thought, okay, how can I work that in with these children?
Although we have a core group within our community, our area is still very much transient. So we know that there's more people, new people within our community. And so our location and people's knowledge of where we are is important.
So once we've finished our planning, we then move into the do. And that's where we're literally carrying out the plan, documenting our observations and collecting our data.
When I first got into the office, I actually separated the enrolment packs and filed them into categories of appropriatenesses for the age groups. I found that actually shortened their length, and it wasn't as overwhelming for the whānau as well when they're sort of bombarded with all these forms that they needed to fill in.
I came in, they sat me down, talked about what they did here. Oh yeah, it was easy. They explained everything. It was like straightforward for me.
The process when a child comes in each morning is I stand there with my star chart and I say to them, would you like to put your star up now? And they usually say yes, and then they take the sticker out and we put their star up on there.
Do you guys want to go to school or stay home with mum and dad? And they had said, oh, we want to go to school so we can do the stars. So that's how they ended up coming.
Yeah, we came to the playground one day with her and we saw that sign there. I was like, we should try this one.
That's something we talked about that we could afford. When you look at movable signage to help show where you are, your visibility, we've found success in that.
So once you've completed do and you've got your information and observations, then study is where you reflect. This is where the valuable learning comes in. Were our predictions correct or not? Or have we learnt something new? And that's a really valuable aspect of the study. And it's from there that we then make our next decisions around how do we act on what we've learnt.
We use the data that we get from the PDSAs now to see how we've increased our enrolments and how we've increased our numbers.
So from the data collected from our PDSAs we've done, it's shown that we've had increased the attendance at the beginning of the week, but we also have found that the attendance was down on a Friday. So the next part will be looking how we can increase the attendance on a Friday.
I honestly believed that it was going to take off and everyone was going to come every single day. Of course that didn't happen. You have to accept the changes that are going to come with the PDSA and learn from it. The results of one PDSA should give you an idea of where to go to next.
The next stage is making a decision about what's next, and that's act. So are we going to adopt the change? Are we going to adapt to the change? or abandon. One thing that we really encourage participants and the people that we work with to do is not to be afraid of failure. It's just another way we learn. Just give it a go. It's not hard and the rewards are amazing. When you see the changes having an impact on the children, you'll be so pleased that you gave it a go.